and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm so happy to have you. So my previous subscribers, welcome back to the channel. So for today's video in particular, we're going to be talking about and asking the question, who is going to be the new world superpower? As the United States falls, a new one will rise. But the question is who? Well, I have a solution. I know exactly who it's going to be. But we're going to ask the question to see if the energy is so very much the same for that specific nation. Awesome. In this video, we're also going to be talking about and discussing French imperialism. Yes, you heard that right. French imperialism was something that I also mentioned a long time ago, back in 2022, alongside India and the world superpower. So we're going to talk about that today. We're going to retouch upon this. I am going to go and find that video, and then I will post an excerpt of that specific video online so you guys can see and revisit right when I said that. Now this took place, I think, 2021, 2022, it was a very long time ago. But in today's video, we're going to be talking about the next world superpower. As the United States falls, something has to take its place. What country will it be? Now, this video is being recorded on Monday, March 31st at 11:24 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, as when I'm recording this. If you want to help out the channel grow, you can do so by liking, commenting, subscribing, hitting the bell icon, or engaging with the content is some formality. By doing so, you help the channel grow naturally, but also it helps you get on Community Spotlight, which we're going to go over very momentarily. But also, if you want to be notified when I do post and upload next, you can go down to my description or my comment section below and follow my Blue Sky account and my Facebook group, and I will personally notify you there because YouTube does not always notify you when I do post and upload. Now let's go ahead, let's go to Community Spotlight. Let's take a quick look and see who is on the Community Spotlight for the week. I know a lot of you guys have been engaging with the content, so thank you for all of you. I love you and I appreciate you. Now if you have sent out an email, I will be getting back to you as soon as I can. Right now I'm kind of busy, but I will get back to you. I don't think I don't see your comments, I don't see email. I am going to be getting back to you. I'm just a little bit behind schedule. But let's go ahead, let's take a look. Let's see. Community Spotlight for the week is Virginia Taylor, so thank you. We have MDH. We have Fish Pictures. We have TubiTube. We have and Dennis Thomas. And the way you're going to be able to do and get onto Community Spotlight, the more engagement you do on the channel per week, the more likelihood chance of you being on Community Spotlight. This is not chosen by me, but instead recommended by YouTube as a Community Spotlight for those who are actively engaging for the week prior. Alright, so let's go ahead. Let's take a quick look. Now, I do have some exciting news. This was on accident. As you all know, I've been talking about time travel on this video, on this specific YouTube channel for quite a while, specifically about 5 years. And, well, there has just been an official report today, as of today, or at least 14 hours ago, that time travel does indeed exist now, according to scientists. So you can kind of see, if you look up this time travel, you will see that them talking about time travel being a legitimate thing and that people have done it before. Now, we talked about this in the past. Talked about people already doing it and all that, etc., etc. It has now been officially confirmed that it's true and accurate. That's all I gotta say. I'm a little bit shocked, I'm a little shocked. I will get over it, don't worry. In another video, we're going to talk about and discuss what does this mean for us as society going forward, because this is going to have ramifications now that it's been officially confirmed that time travel does indeed exist and is a functioning part of our everyday life. So let's go ahead, let's take a look at who is going to be the next superpower, and let's go from there. Alright, let's take a look. So, I'm going to post like another excerpt sometimes in the future. I gotta go find a video though, because I have tons of videos and tons of content. And it's going to be quite a while for me to find it. But essentially, in that video, I talked about how India was going to become the next world superpower. Not China, not Russia, not the United States. When the United States falls, India will be the next superpower. But however, there's a caveat here. There's a caveat. The caveat is essentially, when the United States officially falls and it loses its superpower status, China will step up and will take the reins of superpower for 10-ish years. 10 years, 5 years max. And then China is no longer a superpower, and then it goes to India. India becomes the substantial superpower for the remaining portion of this century. So that is something that's going to be very interesting. That's why you're going to see in the cards, you're going to show India as the world superpower, not China, but China is going to be the one who takes over after the United States temporarily. And then China gets weighed down in terms of its power and influence, and it goes to India. So there is that. Now, we are going to ask the question, is that still true? Or has that changed? Let's take a look. So spirits and angels tell me, is it still true that India will become the superpower of this century, in the 21st century? Will India, the country India, become a world superpower after the fall of the United States? But assuming that China will be taking its reign temporarily as superpower until the next one is in. I'm hearing we need more information. Back here we have the Queen of Cups. I'm hearing don't count her out yet. Don't count her out yet. That's what I'm hearing. Don't count her out yet. I wonder if India is considered a boy or a girl country. You know how the United States people say, oh, she's a female, right? I wonder if India is a male or a female. Because if she's a female, then it might be indicating either the United States is don't count it out just yet, or it might be India don't count it out yet. That could be what both of them means. Okay, if you are new here, welcome. On these in that card, it means that this is major arcana. Anything white colored means that it's minor arcana. Okay, what color spirit? For India, is India going to become the official world superpower this century? Doesn't matter when, but will they? Will they? Your clarifiers here. And they're telling me that's it, so I'll take those two. And then, what about these? Will India become the next world superpower this century? Anything else? So tell me to take the top of the card. Could it tell me to leave that out because we're going to need it? All right, so let's take a look. Let's see what's going on here. Is India going to become the next world superpower? We have the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles means caring, nurturing, very loving, but also looking at the optics, right? Looking at the circumstances surrounding this question, looking at things from a different point of view, from a different perspective. Can you truly take on the role of a superpower when there's a clear vacuum in it? That's what that card is indicating. Here we have, as well, is disharmony among Earth. There's going to be a time where, whether there's time between India becomes the superpower or not is not the question. The question for this specific card is saying there's going to be a period of disharmony, or disharmonious energy among the world. It's going to be very non-peaceful. It's going to be chaotic. People don't really know what's happening. Countries don't know what the next thing to do because there's been just a strong leader at the United States, and that's being, in quotations here, but has been so strong in dictating politics around the world that policy is based off the United States' best interest rather than the global collective interest. And that is something that's going to be very interesting going forward, is that when the United States does collapse and loses its superpower status, a lot of nations around the world is going to be kind of confused. They're going to say it was shock or a betrayal. They don't know what to do. They don't know what the policies to do because they're not sure exactly how to approach things, because the United States has been so ingrained in so many countries' politics that it's kind of hard to really essentially remove that from it. What's also interesting as well with the United States reach and everything, a lot of nations, in order to remove the influence of the United States, will not go forward. They will actually progress backward to policies that were put in place or certain things that they did in the past that were, removed because of the United States influence will be put back into effect in many nations. So they will kind of revisit the past by putting things back in and having like a reset, almost as if the United States never touched that nation before. That's what I'm getting. Here are the cards that represent the Queen of Pentacles and the Lovers card. We have here on, which means it's on, like something has been turned on. Something has been turned on. What has been turned on specifically with the Lovers card? We have the waxing gibbous moon. So this open space here means going towards the future. Anything going to the wall means it's already been solidified. It's the past. In that aspect, we talk about nurturing, patience, and refinement. Again, another card where I talk about nurturing. Waxing gibbous moon, what is coming in the future is patience. Trying to redefine what it means to be a superpower. That is going to be the key points and key highlights that we're going to be expecting as the new nation comes and rises. This is talking about on a broader scale who the superpower is going to be. I just told you that I felt for a very long time it was going to be India. I got information it was India. We're still asking whether or not that is going to still be India. That is up to your determination as well, but hopefully we do get an answer on that. We do have here the next card that comes in the center, which is the Two of Pentacles. And the Two of Pentacles means a decision is still being made, which means this has not yet been determined, this has not yet been decided. And how and why is it not yet been decided on who is going to be the next superpower? Because time is so in fluctuation. Time changes and will shift. Remember, if you guys have watched my previous video talking about the time shift, and the timeline has just shifted backward. If we had been on our original timeline, the timeline that has been altered by 45 and his minion to go into our new timeline, in that aspect, we will have a very different superpower. But now that we have entered back into our original timeline, we are now going to have a new superpower that could possibly rise. So what does this card, what does Two Pentacles mean? It means that there are going to be two different dynamics simultaneously happening at once. So you're probably asking, well, okay, so if we went back in time, what happened to the other timeline? The other timeline, some people are stuck in that timeline. Well, we are on an entirely different plane of existence, an entirely different plane of knowledge and understanding. And because of that, there could possibly be two different superpowers happening at the same time in two different timelines, right? That could be what it means, because it's very confusing in a way in which a lot of us don't quite yet understand. Because some people will be alive in the timeline where China is the superpower, and others they will be alive when India is the superpower, right? But one thing that can be certain and can be agreed upon is the United States is not a superpower in either timeline. That's why the Two of Pentacles comes in. It comes in as there's two juggling outcomes here. But what if they're not juggling two outcomes? What if it's possibility that says here, okay, so we shift the timeline. We don't know which timeline we're in right now. But once we kind of understand the timeline that we're in, it'll become a lot clearer. Now, underneath the Two of Pentacles here, we have the Air card. The Air card is reversed, which means expansive, intellectual, and inquisitive. It's very reversed. It means that we don't have yet the knowledge or understanding to know exactly who this person is going to be, because we are still understanding the timeline in which we are now in. We are playing with time, right? So we're going to start to see many videos come out in the future where you talk about, okay, we went back in time, then we're going to go back forward in time in a new timeline. Then we go back and forth, back and forth. Remember in my video, I talked about how 45 is going to be very active in playing with time and the time continuum, messing with that. So you're going to start to see that in this card here. You're going to start to see it start to happen more frequently. A lot of you guys are going to feel like you're in both timelines at once, and you're going to have memories when you go to sleep or even during waking time where you have memories of you doing something in a different timeline. Now, going to the top of this card here, what's with pink, we asked in the question, okay, so what is going to be the core focus of this brand new superpower? Let's take a look. We have impeach, so removes religion. Impeach or removal of religion. So impeach just means not removing religion. There's going to be some sort of faith here that's going to rise. I'm getting indications here that this feels very much like Rome. It feels like Rome. Whatever this is, it feels something like Rome. That's what I'm getting. I'm getting information feels like Rome. You know, it's interesting because I'm seeing like the image, like how the Romans took over like I think during Alexander the Great. He took over like the eastern portion of Europe and kind of went to the Middle East into India, like that region there. There's something in that region that's gonna be a key player. Key player, yeah. So I'm getting the information there. It's telling me exactly where that is. It's gonna be in that southern region of Asia, Southeast Asia, and yeah, it could be Middle East or it could be Southeast Asia with like India, that region, that span with the Alexander the Great. Underneath this page of story, we have here someone coming out. So right after this decision, once we kind of understand the timeline that we're in and we kind of stabilize a little bit, we're going to know who this new superpower is. This is the page of story. The page of story, this new one comes right out of the get-go. It kind of like feels like, you ever seen like a YMA match or like people wrestling? They run right through the piece of paper and there you go, you got your surprise, you got your person. This is what it felt like. It felt like out of blue, comes right in, smashing the paper, and now that is your official person. Underneath the page of stories here, we have the planetary return, cyclinity, homecoming, progress. It's reversed because this is not a cycle. This is a brand new cycle. This is a brand new country. So just say, for example, India has been a world superpower in the past. India will not assume the role of superpower. Whatever nation, in essence, had never received the role of superpower before will officially receive that status. So let's go ahead and let's take a look and ask the question, has India ever been a world superpower? Has India ever been a world superpower? Let's take a question. Was India a superpower in history? It says during the Empire. It says during the Empire, during the Mauryan Empire within the 3rd century BCE, and Gupta Empire between the 4th and 6th century, and Mughal Empire during the 16th, 17th century CE. So essentially, if this is true, it's essentially saying that no, India could not become a world superpower. However, there has never been official determination for the world superpower, the one who leads all nations, had not been drafted upon until the late 1800s. So the retrospect, India could become a world superpower if it wanted to be. But under the 10th understanding about what I said is that it has to be a country that hasn't had any background of being a world superpower, and it comes right out of the get-go. It has to be someone who'd never been even considered before. So this might not be India anymore. Underneath the 6th pentacle, it means somebody who brings justice, someone who brings a sense of balance and harmonious energy to the earthly plane. And with that said, it's not going to be through government. It's going to be through some sort of other use, other amenities here. Here during this time, we're going to have a lot of struggle around the world, specifically a lot of struggle. People will have just gotten out of war. People will have gotten out of war. And because of this, there needs to be a sense of containment. And this is the Queen of Cups. A sense of containment, something that's not contained, and it's the power of the feminine. So if India truly represents, like I said, the female, do not underestimate her from the beginning of the video, that if India is considered truly feminine, it will rise. But whatever it is, whatever nation that is going to be the next superpower, it's going to be of a feminine energy. So wherever the feminine energy is, that is the country that's going to become the next world superpower. It doesn't feel any likely anymore. It could be India. It feels like it's another nation. But I'm going to ask the cards separately in a minute. But let's see. What's the top of the deck here? We have the 11th house of reverse, which means collaboration. It means membership and network, with the 11th house of Aquarius reverse. That is ending. Collaboration. The period of coming together is coming to an end. And what is rising from the bottom to the top? We have opposition. Opposition. And what does that mean? It means resistance, struggle, polarity, a difference of ideology. It's very possible we can actually have another Cold War where like the Soviet Union and the United States rise out of World War II and they were fighting mode. It's very possible that, how I said that could have been in China and India. Well, what if it's both? What if both of them are fighting it out? That's why it could be a sense of polarity of two nations trying to become the dominant one. That could be what this could be indicating as well. But like all things, we always like to double clarify, make sure we understand the question at its original intent. So let's go ahead and let's just ask the cards one more time. Will India be a world superpower? Yes or no? Very simple. So they're saying, so tell me, will India be the next superpower? Yes or no? Is India the next world superpower? Okay, so this is what they told me. They told me in my ear, because I'm asking, is India going to become the next world superpower? They said this. It has to be a nation of a female leader. Whatever that nation it is, it's going to have a female leader who rises, who will be the one who will lead the superpower, the next world superpower. Here we have the Six of Cups, going back to the past of struggle. If this is India, it's the past of struggle in India, which is the Eight of Wands, right? I think it's the Eight of Wands or whatever. I'm not counting today, I don't feel like doing math. But anyway, besides the point, it's saying here that there is a sense of struggle here within the past. However, the future for India means leadership, resilience, justice, the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is coming in with a clear sense of clarity and understanding. And here the next card that we have after that is the Page of Wands, which has always indicated a new leader. So if this is the case and we're reading it as is for India, I would say India could have a female leader. And if India does have a female leader, India would be the next superpower, the main one. Or a nation will assume the role of superpower. And here's how it's gonna work. This could be India right here. Six of Cups, which means struggle. They fail. They don't be able to take it on. But the next two cards come in and, okay, even if India is not the superpower, there's going to be one who rises with a clear sense of clarity and a sense of justice. And here you have the new leader, which is the Page of Wands. So it's all going to be about serving justice and doing what's right. That's going to be what this new superpower's intention is. And here you have is wishful thinking. Wishful thinking is not so wishful, right? It's something that is certain. And what is certain is the lack of containment. And what is the lack of containment? It's the woman. The woman cannot be contained anymore. We are officially in the age of Aquarius, and here's the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles, the male energy, in the opposite side, the devil, he's going to try to contain and control people. That's the masculine. It's reversed, which means that the masculine no longer rules its dark energies, and because of that, their efforts, their ability to progress forward has ended. The masculine will end, the feminine will rise. And here you have it, the Page of Pentacles, a new era is upon us. So essentially, whatever it is, and how you want to perceive this specific video, the moral of the story is, whether it's India or not, whether it's China or not, it's going to be a country of a female leader or a feminine energy that's going to rise from one of these nations, and they are going to be the next superpower. And that is what I'm getting. That's the energy I'm getting. I don't get a clear indication that it's going to be China or India definitively. I am getting indication, though, that it's almost certain it's going to be of a feminine nation. So look for a feminine nation on the rise, and we'll go from there. Now, in another video, I feel like this video is a little too long. We are going to talk about French imperialism and what it means for us going forward in the future, and what does it mean for all my people in France. Alright guys, until then, I love you. Have a great night. Until then, peace out. Love you.